All right, so Daniels Woodland, and it's greeting us
it
with the giant metal robot here, which makes, is it metal or is it just fake metal?
No, that's metal.
Okay, so it makes perfect sense, right, for a woodland.
No, that's metal.
But anyways, yeah, it's tricky, and they do most of woodworks and metal craft, and also the 3D printing, which Craig Fraser is here to show us, I think, around. Yeah, you probably know Craig Fraser. He's, I think, living here in the area, right? How far are you from here?
Well, for a couple of months I was living, we always made a joke, I was living in a van down by the river. I had a trailer back here I lived in until we actually got our home here. And now we're living about 20 minutes away. So now I'm officially living in Paso Robles.
Okay, well, congrats. And I know you've done a bunch of projects with them before, but now you're officially here full-time.
Yeah, in the past I was a freelance. I mean, I work for anybody, Craytex and different companies, and I've worked, and I'd usually it's on my own, just doing artwork. And so I worked for them, designing and actually painting different items. And then they finally decided to hire me. So they brought me in. I'm now the creative director and project manager here at Daniels Woodland.
Good decision. I hope you're happy with it. See around, it's pretty impressive.
Well, we wanted this place to be bigger than life, and they actually started working on this about a year before COVID. And then of course COVID, everything was shut down, nothing happened. But they wanted the entrance to be a lot, when you see it from a photograph, you don't realize how truly big this is. And all made, all out of wood. It's none of it's fake here, even though we do a lot of fake work here, faux finishing. Most of the stuff, it's called Daniels Woodland for a reason. They're, historically speaking, they originally started out doing, John Daniels was doing chainsaw carving of bears and animals. Then they started doing tree houses, and then moved on from tree houses to larger projects, interior designs in restaurants, as well as different aspects and scenic elements for theme parks, you name it. The door here is actually patterned after they really like the big giant doors you'll see in like the Palazzo Medici and some of the large palazzos in Italy. They'll have this large door that's only open on special occasions. This one's the same way. It's not open yet. We're actually going to make a mechanism that you turn with a big wheel here, and you'll see gears turning, and this whole doors will open up automatically. They need to be set up automatically because each of these doors is about 2,000 pounds. Right now we have it set up. All this ironwork was all designed in-house, and pretty much everything is hand fabricated. Nothing is really off the shelf. And we even have a large key to open this up. You want to give me the key? Yeah, thank you. I'm going to put the key in here, and then basically you turn the key until you hear a ding. That means that you can now open the door.
Nice, it's almost the same like we have in a motorhome.
Yeah, except this is all designed in-house, and you can see there's the bell, but if you want to close it by hand inside, you can do that and turn it. We also have a small door that's going to be just for kids. It's about here down, and it's not open yet. It's not set up. And then down here we'll have a little bitty door you open up, and there'll be like a little mousey in there for kids to open up the door and see. It'll be a mouse inside. There's a little mouse house door. This isn't just an entrance to Daniels Woodland, it's also a sales point. People see this as the kind of work we do. Everything here was fabricated. So you can come on in and see what's inside here. Now it's kind of dark in here right now. Let me see, hang that. Let me see if I can find the lights. Oh, the lights are on, but it's still kind of dark. You see here, this is actually one of the old Aero trains. Same company that Bob Gurr used to work for years ago. This train, same company that made the trains for Disneyland. And when it's all done, you see there's a track down here, and this track goes through the entire facility. And we have two trains actually, they'll give tours, and you can go and ride the train through the facility, and it goes all the way around, and the whole area will be themed out. Yeah.
And I saw it in the picture, it looks familiar, so yeah, it's a Disney train, okay.
Yeah. And then we've got this is one of those speeder bikes.
I saw one of the shows in Orlando. Well, what's the name of the theme park shows?
Well, EA Motorsports hired us to do this as a gaming thing, and you can actually sit on it and everything. It's metal, it's really, really sturdy. And you can see it, it's not, it actually moves a little bit when you get on it, but all of these controls work, and it even leans when you get on it. So we were viewing it would be ultimate as a controller. If you could have this for a video game with the screen, and then you can ride it, and these pedals, put your feet down there and control that. But EA literally just hired us to create that for one show we did for them.
Okay. Gonna take it for a spin later. Yeah, I like the building's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Because we're looking for a new place for us for the spray gunner as well for next year. And I really appreciate the height of the
Oh, these are nice. It stays, I mean, with minimal air conditioning, this actually stays pretty cool. We've got the windows open and closed to let heat out at the top, and it's the whole other building. Like if you see, when you come through here, you can see the rest of the shop. This is the mechanism that opens the door.
It's impressive, man.
Laying down. Yep.
It's really impressive.
If you remember, I don't know if you've been to Disneyland back, it was a while back, but that truck right there used to sit out in front of the Jungle Cruise. And it was a convention. So you go there and you buy fruit or candy or whatever right out in front. This is the paint department, and we're still building it. We just put up all these areas and stations. Before that, it was just shelves, and we're getting everything organized. The paint booth, we still have to get hooked up and certified, but we got it moved to where we want it. It can't be an automotive booth because in California, they're just nightmares. These were 3D printed by Simon. I just got finished painting them yellow. I'm gonna come in and detail them out, but these are pineapple lamps that we did for a local tiki house, and we also are going to have on display at the IAPA show. And they'll have a bulb inside, but they're all 3D printed. It's transparent 3D print material. And
so it must be pretty tiny walls to get the light for, right? Or there's like a holes inside, or
no, it's all hollow. It's all hollow inside.
Okay.
If you look inside, the one thing about the massive printer, it doesn't need internal structures.
Okay.
It prints all hollow. So you put that light inside, and the whole thing will light up.
The booth, yeah, I see there's some modifications there.
Oh yeah, a lot of modifications. We're still doing modifications to it.
Cool, yeah.
So kind of messy, but right now it's more of a sanding and prep booth. We're working on a tentacle there for something, and then I had to put a matte coat of clear on this door for another project. So little things we have going on.
Ready? Yeah.
We have a doggy here, so watch out for the doggy.
Hey doggy.
Come on, Javi. Come on, Javi.
Come. Why is he coming? Watch out for the doggy. Not supposed to be out. And I like how this.
And this
like
is
the
way we've done the inside of the place. Like it reminds me, it's very similar to, you might see like Diagon Alley in Harry Potter. We call this Dadgummit Alley. Everything's like a little bit off center here, but we're still in the process of building this. So we even did the floor. It looks like there's water going down the center.
You guys call it office zone, right?
Huh? These are all the different offices.
I'm jealous.
This is my office right here.
That's how the office should look like.
Yeah. This is, well, the cool thing is like the way this is our print area. We're going to make it look like a mausoleum with a gate in front. And so the crypts will actually be the filing cabinets.
Okay.
And so this one is this door is normally closed. It's got a magnetic lock on it. And this is usually sitting right here. We're going to have a lamp you can turn, but the way it's set up now, when you do that, it opens the electro lock on there, and you can come on inside. And it's my office. Still building stuff. Got a few of my things in here, a few of my paintings, a couple of my guitars, my sculpture.
I've seen pictures of guitars, but I'm not familiar with that.
Oh, that's like a Stormtrooper steampunk thing. When the batteries aren't dead, it actually moves around when you move in front of it. It kind of goes side to side, but the batteries are dead.
Is it your sculpture?
Yeah. No, I mean, it's a little piggy bank. I did that as a project for Coast Airbrush when we did a workshop there once. Not in that whole form, but I did just the Stormtrooper head.
Oh, you still like the gun rack? You still like the gun rack?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I got to set the other ones up outside, but this is the one I use here in my office. I have this one set up on a drum stand. I like it better that way.
Yeah, so it's a really neat idea. So you're doing airbrush right here in the office? Or
yeah, I do some airbrushing here on my canvases, but I also airbrush out there. It depends on what I'm doing.
Meet artists, and I talk how cool it is to have, the backyard pretty much, or your garage turned into your studio and walk into work. That's kind of cool as well. I mean, you have to drive 20 minutes to work, and you kind of in a company, but
I'm driving 20 minutes through the woods.
With the office like that, the team here must be really creative and cool to work to. Just a really good organization, I guess. I can sense it.
It literally is an entire, there's 40 creative individuals working here. There's an entire creative from the top to the bottom. John and Ron, the two owners, both very creative. And then every single other person is here. I mean, every welder is creative. You have to be. So it's not like there's people here that aren't creative. This entire group they all pitch in together, and all of them. You know, we may have Ed doing a certain design and CJ working on it, me working on it, and the final design is over here. But when it's all said and done, everyone works on it together. So kind of everyone has input. So it's been a very interesting team effort, which is interesting because I haven't had that. I've been, you know, pretty much. It's usually me and my two partners at the shop, and that's about it, or other companies I work with. So this was the first time I've actually been able to work in a group this large on a regular basis. You know, I'll work in a group maybe for 2 weeks, and then the job's done and I go somewhere else. So in this situation, it's very difficult. I spent 30 years being self-employed and being a freelancer, where it's funny, a lot of people will spend 30 years at a job and then go off and do their own. I spent 30 years on my own, and then I do a job, so I'm kind of backwards.
Well, again, from what I see, it's a pretty interesting job.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
You know, some jobs out there you just can't, you know, you can do it on your own. You're gonna be in the, you know, it's real hard to build an office like that on your own for yourself. But I'm jealous, and we're gonna try something this way. Next time we move Spray Gunner, it should be our hopefully final headquarters place, because we've been moving like 4 times in the past 5 years.
Well, you keep growing.
Just
too much. If you outgrow your business, you got to.
Next time, we're going to be moving to a new warehouse somewhere else. The additional warehouse. So right now, we just need a headquarters place. Just going to stop, you know, jumping from place to place, and that's when we start doing something serious with our office. I hope, because it's you know, it's also a creative place for us, and yeah. We spend a lot of our time designing headquarters for people, so we'll be more than happy to help you design the new spray gunner. Yeah, it'll be nice. We want to do something special there too at some point. Well, yeah, I know I have a couple of paintings waiting for me. Are they here or in your house?
Actually, they are right over here, I believe. I think this one was one of them, right there.
Yes, I like it.
And I believe is the flying eyeball one.
Yeah, that's the first one I wanted, I think, yeah.
I think those are the...
Okay, don't judge me, guys, but Again? Guys, don't judge me, but actually, I won this skull. I did actually place a bead on a skull, and normally I don't like this kind of paintings, but it's really cool. It's really a stylish, I think, idea of making it kind of Hamilton, yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised because you're talking about you don't like skulls, and then you like that one. I'm like, wait a second, there's a skull there.
Yeah, but I really like how it's integrated into the mask. Yeah, it's really nice idea. Well, thank you. Yeah, they're beautiful. No, my pleasure. Definitely gonna go to our new office when we move. Gonna send them here somewhere. Very cool. Yeah, they're all sealed up for you. They've been waiting. Awesome. I knew you were coming, so I stashed them back here. Awesome. Taking breaks from the intro because, well, of course, it's a busy place here in the Woodland. A busy creative director. Yeah, sorry about that. No problem. But, well, let's just finish on that. So, what kind of advice would you give to somebody just starting on, want to stay in this artistic business, or like how to approach it to make sure you're successful for the future to come? The best thing to do is to learn as much as you can from as many artists as you can. Literally look at what's popular. Now don't go solely on that, because I've had people that find one thing and then they want to focus on that and then they realize the rest of the world just passes them by. Look at what's out there. Look at it. It's got to interest you. If you truly want to be an artist, you've got to be interested in art. You've got to be fascinated by certain things. Pay attention to what you're fascinated by, because what you're fascinated, what you're interested in, is what you're going to be the best at. Now, if no one else out there cares about what you're fascinated with, then maybe that's a good sign that that's a hobby for you. Art might be a little bit too myopic. You need to spread out your perception. But I tell people you should constantly diversify. And one thing I do, like I can't say it now because I work here now, and the large majority of my income comes from Daniels Woodland now. But back in the day, 15% was the largest any client. For 30 years, 15% was the largest any client had of my income, or my attention at that matter. I had some clients that were 2.5%, some 5%, some 10%. When I worked for Jesse James, at one time, when our shop, Cal Concepts Air Syndicate, me and Dion,
were working for Jesse for West Coast Choppers. We did all his paint work. I did all his murals. I designed tattoos for him. I designed t-shirts for him. I designed exhaust pipes. I designed some air cleaners. I was doing graphic paint work for him, as well as just single color paint work out of our shop. Did everything for him. It was only 15% of my income. It was 100% of the artwork for his shop. 15% of my income. That is very important, because if you have everything invested in one thing, if that goes away, you're in trouble. If you lose 15% of your income, you might not go see a movie this week. You might not go to that nice restaurant.
It's a good approach, not even for artists. I learned it the hard way, unfortunately, in my life. But it's how you should do it.
But it's the same way with creativity. You shouldn't have. I mean, it's a bad investment strategy. If you put 100% of your money in one stock, you're an idiot. Well, if you put 100% of your attention into one thing over a period of time. Now, at one time, I may be completely focusing on something.
Yeah, if you're doing projects, you're going to focus on it.
But at my other shop and on my previous shops I've worked at, and even when I was at Cal Poly, I'd have 10 to 20 projects going on at once. That's what really made it easier for me to come here, because they expect you to have 10 to 20 projects going in your head at one time. And then I'm trying to figure out what's coming up, and I'm also trying to make sure what we already did 2 months ago is still cool. Because I started 2 months ago here. So I'm just trying, and that kind of multitasking is important, but that's a diversification of attention. So you need to be able to diversify your attention into multitasking. You also, but by not losing quality, you shift your attention. You don't just do crap work here. You know, you do good work, but then if I'm not working on that, I can't pay attention to it, then I've got to know when I can leave that and go to something else. But for your creativity, it should be the same way. If you're really good at something, there's no need to keep working at it. You know, now that sounds horrible, but let's put it this way. If you are the best painter of skulls, maybe you could sit back and do something different. Because to keep on trying to be better at that one thing is just pointless. Find something else, unless you want to create a market where you are just known as the guy that does skulls, which means no one's ever going to hire you, and you better hope people want skulls. I learned that the hard way. I wasn't the only guy that did skulls, but with all my stencils, everything else, I became known as a skull guy. I had people that didn't want to hire me because they thought that all I did was skulls, and I really didn't.
I don't like skulls.
Yeah, he doesn't like skulls. That's why I brought it up. But he did buy a painting of mine that has a skull in it. So when I tell people, be really careful. Artists hate to be put in boxes. They hate to be labeled. They hate to be put in boxes. But as they're screaming to everyone else out there, don't put me in a box, don't label me, as they're saying this, they are building a box, hammering it closed, and then as they shut the lid on themselves, do not label me or put me in a box, they finish putting themselves in a box. And that is one thing, the best advice I give to an artist is do not fall victim to that labelization. Do not fall victim to being put into a box. And at the same time, diversification is a nice way of improving your abilities, improving yourself as an artist, improving yourself as a person, keeping yourself interested. And you can't be put in a box if you're a moving target, if you're constantly moving around. You can't be kicked out of an industry if you're never really sitting in it that long. You can't be labeled if you're not staying in one place long enough. So as an artist, that's what you really need to do. And it also keeps you interested. People don't realize that burnout, you always heard the term burnout. People call it artist block or writer's block. All burnout is self-boredom. You got to the point, as humans, we all think we're pretty interesting ourselves. But when we start getting bored, we've already bored everyone around us a long time ago. Now, some people want you to keep on doing the same thing over and over again because that's part of their comfort zone. You've got people that don't want anything to change, but they want things to change for themselves for the better, but they don't want you to change. You're always a skull guy. They want you to keep on painting skulls. So they don't want you to change, yet they're never going to reward you for not changing. So you want to constantly be changing, constantly be reinventing yourself, constantly be doing that. If you do that constantly, then you're going to be fine as an artist. I've always said, do not ignore history. If you ignore history, you're going to be doomed to repeat its failures. Best guess, there's another part of that. You're not just doomed to repeat its failures, you're never going to repeat its successes. You can't learn from it.
Well, I think we're doing it now as a government. Let's not get in there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I always said, I heard it a long time ago, and I can't remember where I heard it from, but if you have 1 foot in the past and 1 foot in the future, you are standing solidly in the present. Mm-hmm. When people focus on the present, you can't. because it doesn't exist. The present right now is now 2 seconds ago. So, learn from history, respect artists in the past, learn the history of your art, learn the history of your techniques, but always keep an eye on the new technology and how that can modify and make better use of your knowledge of history in the past, and that gives you a working knowledge to be successful in the present. I think that works.
I think it's great advice, and again, it's not only for creative people, it helps in life in general, I think. So, great advice. I appreciate your time, Craig. Enjoy the place.
And I apologize for not looking at the camera that much, because for a long time I didn't realize the camera was. I was just talking to you. I was like, he doesn't have the camera on. I can pick my nose and do whatever I want.
That's the way to get good information out of Craig. I always forget about it. So we went to Triple H Place, the studio twice, and 2 times I forgot about it. We still have.
So that's why she kept mentioning it. She mentioned it in the office, and she's doing her job.
You're doing a great job. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, she saved me from forgetting it again. Our little tradition here for those who are full-time in art, and Craig Fraser definitely doing full-time artist. We'll be honored to have your signature somewhere here. Just find a spot and.
Very cool. Let me see, where can I...
And you're really welcome to put something creative us sometimes, do you?
Oh yeah, I'll do something right up here.
How would you? Awesome.
There you go.
You're great.
Oh, my pleasure.
So. Yeah, good. Thank you so much. Want to do a picture? All right, well, they kicked us out of the building.
we had to get some work done. So
yeah, there's people working. I'm disturbing everybody, as you might know. And there's a lot of projects we cannot show, unfortunately, but we saw some cool stuff. And you're working on so many different materials. So it's wood as the beginning, I think, like it's metal. You have the
fake
3D
metal
printing
and fake wood.
And fake wood, of course, made of what? So many.
Anything else, we can make it out of anything. Yes. Fiberglass, 3D printing, polyurea, foam, you name it. We can make anything here at Daniels Woodland.
Yeah, it's really impressive, really creative, and the office done well. You saw some of it. Unfortunately, we couldn't film in all the rooms again, but it was it's really impressive for considering it's not being a theme park. It's a company who makes stuff for theme parks, but the office itself would be. I'll probably start charging for people visiting here.
Well, we're going to have the train. When we get everything done, we're going to have the trains doing a tour. So it'll be like a little theme park here.
Okay, yeah.
And then you guys can also come by our booth at the IAAPA show this coming November. We'll be in Florida at IAAPA.
Yep.
And you can also see all the artwork from Daniels Woodland and my artwork at Disney, at the Disneyana galleries, and all the park galleries have our artwork in it. So if you can't come here, you can still see our stuff all over the place.
Definitely going to send some of our team there as Craig to visit the show and get familiar with it. But yeah, it's a great market to be in. I think it's just interesting to work on this stuff. When you need to create something. As I mentioned to you, I had something similar back in the time when we had the same thing. The customer wants to have the big pumpkin. Let's come up with the idea how to make it happen, and it's just very interesting to come to work and do this kind of thing. So I think you will be very happy here.
No, I'm having a good time, and then as soon as you get the new spray gunner headquarters, you have to let us know, and we'll make an animatronic Artem. So when you're not there, you can still be there. Yeah. Don't trip over the speeder bike.
Yeah, this thing is actually amazing by itself. Yeah. It's all metal.
I think it's built better than the actual prop. So.
Yeah, it's really good. But anyways, Craig Fraser, thank you for showing us around. Pleasure to
have
your company again, and
see you guys next time.
It was interesting. Thank you. Bye.